Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Snowpoint City, where today the Snowpoint Frost are hosting the Veilstone combat. Now there's a matchup between two Sinnoh based sides as Myenshow and Blazer can start out for the combat, whereas the Frost are going to start out with Lapras and Glaceon. Now let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today, the Snowpoint Frost or the Veilstone combat. Now you got to think that speed advantage is going to go to the Veilstone combat, and that it will with Myenshow going first. Myenshow is going to go with a Psychic. Now normally the Veilstone combat would be weak to that type of move, but instead they're using it on Lapras, and Lapras takes that hit quite well. Blaziken looks to follow it up here. Goes with a Tail Whip. The Veilstone combat should try and capitalize on their fighting type advantage over the ice types, but instead that Tail Whip is going to lower Lapras' defense as well as Glaceon's defense. Now Glaceon going for its first move of the matchup, and it's going to go with a Rain Dance, so it's going to start to rain over the battlefield now. This could get a boost to the water typing that Lapras also has. Lapras. Now it's going to go with a Fissure. And Blaziken avoids that attack. That would have been amazing to see in a first turn, a one-hit KO move. They are always amazing to see in these matchups. Myenshow going with another Psychic type attack, this time going with a Psyshock. And this time it goes for Glaceon. Glaceon taking a fair amount of damage from that move from Myenshow as Blaziken follows up with a Leafage. That also goes for Glaceon. Takes Glaceon down into the yellow. You have to think that might have been better off going for Lapras, capitalizing on its water type. And as we get a Dragon Darts coming from Glaceon, this is going to hit both Blaziken and Myenshow. They both take damage from that Dragon type move. Now Lapras with its opportunity goes with the Guard Swap. So it's going to switch guards with Blaziken here. Now both sides did lose last week, and as always this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle. So if we hit that 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. Myenshow, see if it continues with the Psychic type moves, instead goes with the Oblivion Wing. So it's going to restore some health here, but it will target Glaceon, and Glaceon has been eliminated with that move. A very good hit, a critical hit in fact, by Myenshow, who restores its health back to 100%. Glaceon again has been eliminated. This is very good for the Veilstone combat. They want this victory today because they need to win the last 3 games of this season if they want to stand any chance of making the championship trials. Now Fury Cutter is going to hit Lapras. Snowpoint for us looking to play spoiler for the Veilstone combat here today. And Lapras is going to go with an Aeroblast. Goes for Myenshow, and it's a one-hit wonder, thanks to Myenshow restoring its health back to 100%, that is. But Myenshow has been eliminated with that super effective move, and Machamp comes out to take its place now. Now it's Cloyster, another Water Ice type coming out for the Snowpoint Frost. But what a hit there by Lapras onto Myenshow. Blaziken taking over as the fastest Pokemon on the field, and it's going to go with a Skull Bash. So it's going to tuck its head on this turn, boost its defenses. We'll see this Skull Bash connect in the next turn. Cloyster going for its first move of the matchup. It goes with a Present. Blaziken does avoid that attack. Lapras now goes with the Amnesia. It's going to boost its defenses. Lapras boosting its special defense there. Now Machamp goes with the Wing Attack. On to Cloyster. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, however. Now, the Snowpoint Frost, we know, cannot make the championship trials, so they're just playing spoiler to a number of sides. As that Skull Bash connects with Lapras, taking it down into the red. Cloyster goes with the Sleep Powder, but Blaziken again avoids an attack from the Snowpoint Frost. I believe that's the third move it's avoided this matchup, as Lapras goes with a Snipe Shot. And this one, Blaziken will not avoid, and Blaziken has been eliminated by Lapras there. 2 very powerful hits on the Veilstone combat by Lapras, eliminating Myenshow and Blaziken. Getting a Aurora Beam now coming from Machamp. Now this will go for Lapras, but it does very minimal damage. You barely even notice that it left a mark on Lapras. That rain on the field does stop, as Veilstone combat are going to send out their 4th Pokemon. And it's going to be Toxicroak coming out, the Poison Fighting type. The Snowpoint Frost are doing very well at the moment, doing everything they have to play spoiler for the Veilstone combat. As Toxicroak goes for its first move of this match, and goes with the Dragon Breath. It's going to target Cloister with that move. Takes Cloister down into the yellow. Very good hit there by Toxicroak. Cloister's going to respond and goes with the extra sensory. This will be super effective on the psychic types. And it's going to do a one-hit wonder on Toxicroak, capitalizing on it being very vulnerable to psychic type attacks, because that poison typing also being weak to psychic moves. And a gust now coming from Lapras. This will be super effective on Machamp. It's not going to do a great deal of damage, as Machamp is going to respond. Going with the Calm Mind though, so Machamp's not going for an offensive type move. Machamp here, boosting those special attack stats and special defense. But a very good start to this matchup by the Snowpoint Frost. Veilstone Combat have already lost 3 Pokemon, as Poliwrath now comes out for the Veilstone Combat. Poliwrath being a water fighting typing, so there's actually 3 water type Pokemon on the field right now. It's Poliwrath needs to capitalize. It goes with a Fire Lash. And this will finish Lapras off. So Lapras has been eliminated. A very good start to this battle for Poliwrath. Cloister cannot be happy with that. It's going to respond and goes with the Sacred Sword. Goes for Machamp. Takes Machamp down into yellow with that Sacred Sword. Now Machamp's going to respond and goes with the Skill Swap. So it's going to switch abilities here with Cloister. Machamp's No Guard is now going to become Overcoat. And Darmanitan comes out for the Snowpoint Frost. Will we see that Zen mode form of Darmanitan, as it does have that ability here today, being the home side. Darmanitan with that very impressive attack stat of 140 is going to go with a superpower. Goes for Machamp and finishes Machamp off. Machamp is eliminated, and now there are only 2 Pokemon remaining on the Veilstone Combat. Darmanitan even lowering its own stats with that move. But this could pay off greatly for the Snowpoint Frost, but a Misty Explosion from Cloister will be prevented by Poliwrath's Damp ability, which will prevent any explosion moves from happening, as we get a Charge Beam coming from Poliwrath. Goes for Darmanitan with that move. Doesn't do a great deal of damage, but Poliwrath will boost its special attack with that attack. The last Pokemon now coming out for the Veilstone Combat, and it's Surfetched coming out to join Poliwrath. Now Veilstone Combat are at a 2 to 4 disadvantage. They need to hit some very impressive fighting type moves to try and get themselves back in this matchup. Flower Shield coming from Darmanitan does fail. Now Poliwrath is going to go with the Confide, so it's not going for an offensive move here. Will lower Darmanitan's special attack with that, but Darmanitan already has a very low special attack of only 30. So it's not losing much, as the Amnesia comes from Cloister. It's going to boost its special defense here. Now Surfetched goes for its first move of the matchup, and it's going to be a double kick, so it is going for a fighting type move. And it's the first hit, and Darmanitan is eliminated. What a connection by Surfetched. What a hit. Only needed one of the double kicks to take out Darmanitan. As the Arctivision now comes out for the Snowpoint Frost. Another water ice typing on the side of the Frost. What a hit though by Surfetched. Amazing to take down Darmanitan, as Poliwrath goes with the Baton Pass, but it will fail. There's no one for Poliwrath to switch with. Cloister now goes with the Magma Storm. Targets Poliwrath with that move. Decent damage for a not very effective attack. That critical hit helping, as Poliwrath will be taking damage from that Magma Storm in between turns. Surfetched now going with the Whirlwind. So it's actually going to send Cloister back to the bench. We're going to find out who that final Pokemon is for the Snowpoint Frost, and it's Vanilluxe, the #1 draft pick for the Snowpoint Frost. Now Arctivish goes with the Mud Shot. Targets Poliwrath with that move. Poliwrath being chipped away out here by the Snowpoint Frost. Now Vanilluxe is going to go with the Haze. So it eliminates all stat changes with that Haze. Now Poliwrath goes with the Gyro Ball. Targets Vanilluxe with this move. I actually thought that would do a lot more damage. But with Vanillax's weak armor, it will have its defense lowered. Does boost its speed, but it's already the quickest on the field. But I really thought that Gyro Ball from Poliwrath would do more damage to Vanillax there, as we get a Sludge Bomb coming from Sirfetch'd. A Sludge Bomb connects with Arctovish, and Arctovish with its opportunity to respond here. Goes with the Frost Breath. It's going to get that stab boost, being an ice type move. And it goes for Sirfetch'd, who we've seen frozen numerous times throughout that season, but that critical hit will take Sirfetch'd down into the yellow. Sirfetch'd is able to avoid being frozen here. But again, Veilstone Combat desperately need the victory here today. They cannot afford to lose any more matchups this season. Shadow Ball coming from Vanillax. Goes for Poliwrath, takes it down into the yellow. Now Poliwrath is going to respond and goes with the Belly Drum, but that does fail. Poliwrath not having enough health left from the Belly Drum, as we get a Crush Grip coming from Sirfetch'd onto Vanillax. And Vanillax is almost eliminated with that Crush Grip, but that weak armor is going to lower its defense even more. And you have to think Vanillax having its speed boosted right now is really ineffective for the Snowpoint Frost, because it's already the quickest on the field. Arctovish goes with a Harden, boosting its defenses with that move. Now Veilstone Combat need to capitalise and get rid of Vanillax to try and tie things up here on the battlefield. Vanillax will be going first, so it could get an elimination before that happens, and it goes with an Ember onto Poliwrath. That not very effective move. Poliwrath still in the yellow, and it has its chance to take down Vanillax. And it's going to go with a Wing Attack. Targets Arctovish instead with that flying type attack. Sirfetch'd now with its chance, goes with the High Jump Kick. And this will get the job done. Vanillax is eliminated with a very powerful, super effective attack. Vanillax is taken down, and Arctovish is going for its turn. Cloister will be coming back out onto the side of the Snowpoint Frost shortly, as Arctovish goes with the Echoed Voice onto Sirfetch'd. Cloister now back out on the field. It is now a 2 versus 2 battle. Veilstone Combat have done very well to keep themselves in this matchup. And Cloister goes with the Burning Jealousy. This hits both Poliwrath and Sirfetch'd and takes them both down into the red. Arctovish could capitalise and take out either or both of them, as we get a Parabolic Charge coming from Poliwrath. This is going to hit everyone on the field, and it's going to take down both Cloister and Sirfetch'd. So Poliwrath is going to restore its health with that Parabolic Charge, but it takes out Sirfetch'd in the process. This could spell doom for the Veilstone Combat, as Arctovish still needs to go for its turn. Poliwrath takes itself almost back into the green though with that Parabolic Charge, as Cloister is eliminated. Now Arctovish, with its chance to capitalise, goes for the Hydro Cannon. It won't be very effective. And Poliwrath holds on, it gets taken back down into the red, but it does hang on. So Poliwrath potentially doing the right thing to use that Parabolic Charge and restore its health, but it needs to go for the strong hits now, and it's going to go with a Strength. Speaking of strong hits, and it gets the job done with a critical hit. The Veilstone Combat have come out the victors here today. They keep their hopes alive for making the championship trials. Unbelievable. I cannot believe the Poliwrath took out its own teammate, but it actually was a big benefit to the Veilstone Combat. Now next week they're going to face the Hardhome Haunts, so they're not going to have a type advantage whatsoever. The Hardhome Haunts will be immune to fighting type attacks, but the Veilstone Combat will be in their home city of Veilstone, and it will be a big matchup for them. Hardhome Haunts have been sitting in the top 3 for most of this season, whereas Snowpoint Frost unable to play Spoiler today. They may play Spoiler next week though, when they travel to the Orange Islands and face the Trevita Cascade. The Cascade have been up and down in the top 8 as of late. So again, the Snowpoint Frost will look to capitalise on that, but what a back and forth matchup. The Veilstone Combat were able to hold on. Poliwrath doing so well, coming into this battle very early on and holding on for such an amount of time, taking out so many of the Snowpoint Frost, getting the victory for its side. I genuinely thought the Snowpoint Frost were going to get the victory here today. At one point it was 2 versus 4, and still the Veilstone Combat came out the victors. That's High Jump Kick taking out Vanillax. That Parabolic Charge, a very big risk by the Veilstone Combat, but it paid off in the end. able to get that elimination on Archdivision with that strength. Veilstone Combat, renowned for the strength they have in the Elite Challenge League. Polyath keeping itself out of the red with that parabolic charge. Polyath having some very good performances so far this season. But Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field today. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, it always helps out the channel. But more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.